Welcome to CollegeReadyMath's Solving Rational Equations. In this lesson, we'll solve equations that contain rational expressions. Solving equations with rational expressions is similar to solving equations that have fractions. To solve an equation like this, we find the least common denominator of all the fractions. It's 6. Then, we multiply both sides of the equation by 6. On the left side of the equation, we start with 6 times x over 2. Cancel. Multiply. The result is 3x. Now, 6 times x over 3. Cancel. Multiply. It's 2x. Next, multiply the right side of the equation. The 6's cancel out, leaving us with 5. Now we have an equation we can solve. 3x plus 2x equals 5. 5x equals 5. X equals 1. 1 is the solution to this equation. To solve the equation, we wrote it to get rid of fractions. Then, we solve the new equation. We use a similar method to solve linear equations that include rational expressions. The difference is that the variable appears in one or more denominators of the equations. As we did before, we'll begin to solve the equation by rewriting it so that there are no fractions. To do that, we'll have to find the least common denominator of the fractions in this equation. The denominators are x, 12, and 6. What's the least common denominator? It's 12x, so we multiply both sides of the equation by 12x. On the left side of the equation, we start with 12x times 3 over x. After we cancel, the 12 is multiplied by 3, we get 36. Next, we'll multiply 12x by 5 over 12. Canceling the 12 gives us 5x. Now for the right side of the equation. 12x times 7/6. Cancel and multiply. The result is 14x. Now we have an equation with no fractions. We'll solve the equation by subtracting 5x from each side, then dividing by 9, x equals 4. Let's check the solution. We'll substitute 4 for x in the original equation. Next, we'll combine terms on the left side of the equation. To do that, we'll have to change 3/4 to 9/12. Now we can add 5/12. We get 14/12. That reduces to 7/6. That's the same number we have on the right side of the equation. So, the solution checks. By the way, when we have an equation like this, x cannot equal 0. We can't have a denominator that equals 0. Remember, division by 0 isn't allowed. If the solution to an equation makes any denominator 0, the equation is not an actual solution. So when we solve the equations, we'll check that the solution we get is allowed. Remember that as we solve this next equation. A quick look at the denominator on these equations tells us that the only value not allowed for x is 0. With that in mind, let's solve the equation. We'll start by finding the least common denominator of the fractions in the equation. It's 2x, so we multiply both sides of the equation by 2x. Multiply the first term on the left side of the equation. That's 2x times 6, or 12x. We also have 2x times 3 over 2x. The 2x's cancel. The result is 3. So the left side of the equation is 12x minus 3. On the right side of the equation, we have 2x times 7 over x. The x's cancel. Multiplication gives us 14. Now let's multiply 2x by 7 over 2x. The 2x is canceled. The result is 7. So the right side of the equation is 14 plus 7, that's 21. Now we have an equation with no fractions. First, we'll add 3 to each side. Then, divided by 12, x equals 2. 2 is an allowable solution for this equation, and we didn't make any math errors, so 2 is the solution to the equation. By multiplying by the least common denominator, We're able to rewrite the equation without any fractions. Just make sure to check that the answer does not cause a denominator to be 0. That's it! You've finished College Ready Math's Solving Rational Equations.